AI and the silent hijacking of identity. Are you still you? If an algorithm can decide what you see, what you value, and what you believe, at what point do you stop being the one in control? Introduction: the invisible hand that shapes you. So, if I just told you your childhood dog faked its own death and is living in Boca Raton, if I told you your personality isn't entirely your own, you'd probably push back. You say, I make my own decisions. I know what I like and I don't like. I think for myself. Yeah, and I bet you picked that unique Rebel starter pack right off Instagram's trending page. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The internet, and AI in particular, knows you better than you know yourself. Basically, it's the world's most persistent salesperson, except instead of pushing timeshares, it's selling you a whole new personality. It studies you. It feeds you exactly what keeps you engaged. It nudges your perception, rewires your desires, and subtly alters what you believe is important. And the worst part? You probably don't even notice. It's like AI is your new life coach whispering, "You're perfect. Just keep liking cat videos and hating your ex." This isn't just about how AI is changing work, creativity, or automation. It's deeper than that. It's changing who we are, how we think, what we value, and even what we believe to be our own original thoughts. Let's break it down. 1. The algorithm isn't just showing you content, it's shaping your identity. Social media algorithms aren't passive. They don't just reflect what you like. They actively push you in a direction. This has been proven time and time again. Think about it. If you watch one fitness video, suddenly you're getting no excuses gym grind content every day. 1 minute you're looking up date night ideas, the next you're convinced the entire sex on the other side is an enemy combatant in a psychological war you never signed up for. If you engage with relationship advice, you might start seeing man versus women tribal warfare posts that push you into a specific narrative. If you click on one conspiracy theory, suddenly your feed is a rabbit hole of paranoia. 1 minute you're a skeptic, the next you're stockpiling tinfoil for the lizard uprising. At first, it just amplifies what interests you, but over time, it gradually reshapes what you think is normal, what you think is right, and even how you see yourself. It's like gaining weight over the holidays. One day you're fine, and the next you swear your dryer shrunk every pair of jeans you own. A slow push is more effective than a hard shove. You don't even feel yourself moving. Like a digital Pied Piper, except instead of rats, it's herding your entire personality off a cliff. And because the AI on social media is designed to maximize engagement, not truth, it doesn't care whether it's showing you wisdom or bullshit, as long as you stay locked in. 2. The identity drift, when you wake up and realize you're not the same person. Most people don't notice when their beliefs shift. They don't wake up one day and say, wow, I think completely differently than I did a year ago. I mean, unless something so dramatic has happened to you that you've had to come to a Jesus moment, as it were. Instead, it happens gradually, invisibly. Here's how you know your identity might have been quietly hijacked. Your past self wouldn't recognize your current values. You can't explain why you believe what you do, only that you feel strongly about it. Your thoughts feel like they come from you, but they actually echo content you've consumed. And the scariest part? You probably think you came to those conclusions yourself. But did you? Or did an algorithm slowly feed you content until you absorbed a new worldview without even realizing it? Congrats, you've been gentrified by a bot. New opinions, same old you, now with a higher rent. 3. The AI-induced attention deficit. Why we can't think deeply anymore. AI isn't just shaping beliefs. It's destroying our ability to sit with complex ideas. Look at what's happening. Videos are getting shorter. 60-second hot takes replace nuanced discussions. Memes shape opinions more than books. Outrage spreads faster than understanding. The result? People can't hold nuanced conversations. Critical thinking is dying. People react instead of reflect. It's like we've outsourced our souls to a slot machine. One poll, instant feelings, no jackpot of insight. AI is optimizing for speed, emotion, and engagement. And in the process, it's training people to crave instant hits of validation instead of deep thought. Basically, the digital equivalent of a toddler hopped up on sugar, loud, demanding, and completely allergic to nuance. AI's turned our brains into TikTok scrollers. 3 seconds of depth, then it's on to Cat Falls Off the Couch, the movie. And here's the thing. When your ability to focus is gone, so is your ability to truly know yourself. Because real self-awareness requires sitting with complexity, not just absorbing the loudest voice in your feed. 4. How to know if AI is manipulating your identity. So, how do you tell if your beliefs, values, or self-concept have been shaped by algorithms instead of independent thought? Well, ask yourself, if I had no internet for 6 months, would I still feel as strongly about my opinions as I do now? Can I trace where my beliefs actually come from? Do I change my mind based on evidence or just based on what I engage with the most? Am I thinking or am I just reacting? Most people don't think critically about their own thoughts. They treat their opinions like a TikTok trend. If it's everywhere, it must be worth jumping on. Next thing you know, you're twerking to flat earth theory because it's got a good beat. They assume, if I feel something strongly, it must be real. If I keep seeing a message, it must be true. If I agree with something, I must have arrived at that conclusion myself. But that's not always the case. So what do you do if you realize you're being nudged, shaped, and conditioned without your awareness? 1. Break the algorithm's hold on you. Purposely engage with content outside your typical bubble. Question why certain things are being pushed into your feed. And for the love of the proverbial St. Pete, do your own research and know how to do that research, not just clickbait and, here's a hint, try and prove yourself wrong. Use different sources for news, learning, and research. 2. Rebuild your critical thinking. Slow down. If a post makes you angry, pause before reacting. Read long-form content, books, well-researched articles, deep conversations. Train yourself to see multiple perspectives instead of the most viral one. 3. Do a self-audit. Write down what you deeply believe. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? If you can't trace it back to independent thought, it might not actually be yours. In that case, you're not a philosopher, you're a parrot with Wi-Fi. 4. Reclaim your attention span. Set time limits on mindless scrolling. Spend time in silence, away from screens. Focus on deep work, long conversations, and meaningful interactions. The best way to tell if AI has hijacked your identity? See who you are when you step away from the constant input. If feasible, spend a few months in another culture. If you can't go 24 hours without doom scrolling, congratulations, you've been fully domesticated by the algorithm. You're not a free thinker. You're a house cat with a data plan and opposable thumbs. Final takeaway. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. AI isn't forcing anyone to think a certain way. It's just nudging, rewarding, and reinforcing until people do it willingly. If you don't actively protect your own thinking, your own identity, your own sense of self, you're handing over control to an algorithm that doesn't care about the truth, only engagement. And let's be real, if you wouldn't trust a casino to manage your savings, why the hell would you trust an algorithm to shape your worldview? So here's the real question. Are you shaping your beliefs, or is an algorithm shaping them for you? And more importantly, are you still you? Closing thoughts. The strongest mind isn't the one that knows the most. It's the one that knows when it's being played. Otherwise, you're just a pawn in AI's chess game, and it's laughing at your opening move. So take a step back, look at your thoughts, and ask yourself, who's really in control here? Am I or AI?